immigration is a big issue that's been in the news recently. It's a big issue that faces our country. If you have a political debate with somebody, it's probably going to be one of the topics that comes up. And it was the cornerstone of the 2016 both primaries and general presidential election. My proposition is that we do all we can to end illegal immigration and the problems that come along with it. Illegal immigration exacerbates the problems that exist currently at our southern border along Mexico. Human and drug trafficking is the biggest problem. Children are often trafficked into our country from Mexico by people who are not their parents. According to the Department of Homeland Security, over the last 2 years, the number of men approaching the border with children who they're suspicious of them not being their kids is up 110%. From April 19th of this year to September 30th of this year, 507 illegal immigrants were detained after making fraudulent claims about being a part of a family unit. Drug trafficking is another big problem. Often hard drugs are smuggled across the border. A recent story of this was in San Diego, where a high school student was arrested for running a smuggling ring that brought illegal immigrants and hard drugs across the border. If we do not fix these problems, they will continue and they will more than likely get worse. Strong borders will help to deter illegal immigration. It only makes sense to secure our borders and have strong borders. Another thing we have to do is make it harder to, for lack of a better phrase, take advantage of the system. There's so many benefits that illegals get that we United States citizens can get the same thing. In some places they're even allowed to vote. We have to close the loopholes to the system and encourage people to come to our country legally instead of illegally. The biggest problem is that people's lives are at stake. Each year, many Americans are killed by illegal immigrants. Another point is this. Often you hear open borders advocates say things like, we have to accept them in, it's our duty, and how will history view us if we turn them away? Well, my question is, how will history view us if we continue to allow the trafficking and allow people to come in and do harm? The only way to stop that is to stop them and, yes, separate them. Another thing we have to do is to build the wall. I'm sure you've heard that phrase. President Trump kicked off his 2016 presidential campaign by saying that. And it was met by opposition and support from both sides of the political aisle. There are many reasons why the wall needs to be built. I think the main reason is that it'll keep our country safe by keeping people from jumping across the fence and across the border and into our country. It'll also keep our Border Patrol agents of ICE safer. Recently, you've probably heard of the caravan coming up to the border, and several of them attacked our ICE agents with rocks. The ICE agents responded by using tear gas to ward off the invaders. Even while the wall will fix a lot of problems, one problem that will still exist is tunnels that will be built under the wall to smuggle drugs and possibly people in. So that issue needs to be dealt with very effectively. Another reason why we need to end illegal immigration is that it will restore the legal immigration process of people coming to our country. It's not fair to people who have gone through that process to have people, so to speak, skip in line ahead of them. There are several immigration programs that need to be fixed as well. Two of these are the visa and the green card programs. As I stated earlier, the construction of the border wall will make us safer. We have to have strong vetting for people coming into our country. As I mentioned earlier, the concept of separating families at the border can be a tough one to deal with in many ways. But in order to find out if the parents truly are, if it is their child, DNA testing has to be done.
Yep.
If the wall is not built and the problems are left unchecked, many immigrants will see this and will want to come here and take advantage of that. Another problem is that the ICE agents will have their job, they won't be able to do their job. They'll have their duty restricted. This summer, whenever the issue of family separations came up in the news, made the headline news, Democrats in the House of Representatives introduced a bill that would abolish ICE. Thankfully, that bill never made it to the House floor. Instead, the House of Representatives decided to vote on a bill that would honor the ICE agents instead. This bill garnered only 18 Democrats to support it, 34 voted no, and 133 of them voted present. All the Republicans voted except for one by the name of Justin Amash of Michigan. In conclusion, I've named the problems that illegal immigration causes, ranging from trafficking to circumventing our laws. There's a lot to do, but I think if we get the right people in office and can debate on the right policies, I think we can get it done. Make no mistake, there are a lot of people in this country who want to abolish ICE. They want to have open borders, but they say they don't. But if they get the numbers of elected people in office, their stance will probably change. Again, I stated that my proposition is that we end illegal immigration by building the wall across our southern border, with Congress funding it, increasing our border security, tightening up the program loopholes. And I think that would make our country a lot safer.
Okay, can you do this again?
Just to recap here, if we build the wall will keep our country safer, as well as our ICE agents, and the violence inflicted on them by members of the caravan will not happen if we build the wall.
What about like our poor people were paying for educations and things have gotten worse for the kids there?
On April 19th through September 30th, we had 507 illegal immigrants detained for making fraudulent claims. People said that didn't happen, but according to the government, it did.
Okay.